watching Seattle Seahawks Today, powered by Chat Sports. I am your fearless leader, Tyler Johnson, with you. Thanks for joining us. We have a brand new 53-man roster projection, our first since OTAs and Minicamp wrapped up, and we have some significant changes to get to since the last time we brought you a 53-man roster projection. We'll go over all of it in just a matter of moments. Before we do, I got a challenge for the 12s today, folks. I want this chat to get rowdy right now. Seahawks football is just a couple of months away, my friends, and I need your help. If you're a real member of the 12s, spam 12 in the chat if you're ready for Hawks football in 2025. I want to see at least 312s in the chat. If we do that, I'm shouting out whoever spams them the most on a later edition of Seattle Seahawks Today. Spam those 12s, and we'll get started with today's show. So let me set some parameters here before we get to this 53-man roster projection. All right? Hear me out on this. Number one, we are not projecting players on this roster that we think are going to be traded or signed here. And we are also not presuming of players we think could be traded away. We're going to go with the roster as is if the season started today, okay? So just want to make sure we're all on the same page on that front when it comes to how this 53-man roster looks. So you're not going to see Trey Hendrickson or Jalen Ramsey in our 53-man roster projection. All right? We all on the same page? We good? We good? All right, let's get started. We do have a change from the last time we did this with the quarterback room for Seattle. Sam Darnold made the team. But another name, Drew Lock, I have making the team. And let me explain why I have this. Drew Lock looked really good in OTAs and minicamp. And at times he outshined Sam Darnold. And the depth chart indicates that he is ahead of Jalen Milroe right now. And on top of that, too, folks, Jalen Milroe we do have making it. The Seahawks have indicated that they could go a different direction than what they typically have done at the quarterback position. What we've seen over the years is that this organization typically only likes to carry two quarterbacks on the active roster. All right? And what we've heard from Schneider and others is that they're interested in going with three potentially. And there's ways around it, too, where you could have two activated, then one be the emergency. I could see a world, too, where Darnold and Milroe are the ones activated and Lock's the emergency quarterback. But I think as of right now, there is a world where Lock and Milroe can coexist. Now, if Milroe continues to improve and if he outplays Drew Lock, then maybe you move on from Drew Lock and you save the roster spot for something else. But I think for now, they're leaning towards going this direction and going with these three. The backfield for Seattle. I know there's been some rumblings about K9 potentially getting traded, but he's still here for the time being. Zach Charbonnet also back as well. I think that the running back room looks a little bit different in the sense that I think that assuming both these guys return in 2025, it's not K9 as RB1 and Zach Charbonnet as RB2. I think it's more K9 is RB1A and Charbonnet is RB1B. I would expect them to get a similar amount of touches. Kenny McIntosh returns. And then I have Damian Martinez also returning. And the final spot in the backfield goes to Robbie Oots. Not George Holani. Not Brady Russell. I think they go with the guy that they drafted to be their starting fullback. I think that that's the direction they lean towards. And you look at that running back room, I think all four of those guys at the running back position are capable of being quality starting running backs. You have some real depth. History tells us that this running back position for Seattle gets banged up a lot. You're probably going to need all of them at some point in time. I think you're in really good shape with this running back room. Kubiak wants to run the football. I think you got some options there. Pick one to keep. If Seattle decides to move on from one of their two young running backs, who should they keep? K9 or Zach Charbonnet? Type K9 for Kenneth Walker III, ZC for Zach Charbonnet. Personally, Charbonnet's got 2 more years on his rookie contract. Kenneth Walker's down to 1 more. I'm keeping Zach Charbonnet if you make me choose between the two. What do you think? Weigh in, let us know. The receiver room. Jackson Smith-Njigba is back. I think he's going to have a fantastic season as the clear, undisputed wide receiver 1. Cooper Kupp, he signed in free agency from the Los Angeles Rams. Key thing for Kupp is going to be just staying healthy and being active on the football field. We need him when it counts in December and January. MVS also makes the roster. I know that he got cut recently from the Bills and the Chiefs, but Seattle seems to have some pretty important plans for him, at least in the short term. Torrey Horton, I think, is going to be fully healthy when the season begins, and he'll be on the active roster. Ricky White III as well, I think, makes it. And then who does the third spot go to? Not Jake Bobo, folks. And I know that my guy, Nitsu Trigger, is not going to be happy with me, but Steven Sims is the better option here. He's faster. He can help out on special teams. Jake Bobo, I like Jake. I think he could stick around the practice squad. He could have his name potentially called if there's an injury or something, but there's more versatility, more options that Steven Sims can bring to the table. I'll go with Sims as your wide receiver 6. Your tight ends, we'll go Noah Fant, A.J. Barner, and Elijah Arroyo. I would personally be surprised if Seattle carried more than 3 tight ends at this point. I think Arroyo's got a chance to be your tight end 1 before the end of the year. I'm so high on him. Can't wait to see what he does. The offensive line, we'll go with Charles Cross as well as Grace Abel. I think that left side is going to be much improved from what we've seen in the past. Olu, I feel better about than some people. There are some haters and some losers out there that think that Seattle should upgrade and do better than Olu. I liked what I saw from Olu in the second half of the season. And the Bradford returns. I don't care who starts between him and Christian Haynes. I just want somebody to play that spot well. Abe Lucas, stay healthy, my guy. I don't care if the knee's a chronic issue. Just keep it healthy, please. We need you. We need you. Josh Jones is going to be your backup swing tackle coming over from the Baltimore Ravens. I think Lumea's back, even though he's not getting first-team reps anymore, despite being ahead of the depth chart last year from Christian Haynes. Bryce Cabeldue, your day 3 pick out of Kansas. I think he makes it. And then we'll go Christian Haynes. So you may be noticing there are some notable names. There's only 9 spots, I think, realistically. So where did the other guys go? I think Mike Jerrell will stay in town on the practice squad. I think that it's one of those things where they're one injury from calling him up and being like, hey, we need you, Mike. So he won't be very far away. Same with Mason Richman, who they drafted from Iowa. I think he goes to the practice squad, but I think that, he would be a quick phone call from saying, hey, your time is now. Get ready to go. So they'll be within arm's length of potentially being available there. How would you grade the Seahawks roster, A, B, C, D, or F? What do you think of this group? Weigh in, let us know. Whip out your red pen. How do you think of this roster? We'll get to the defense in a moment, but want to hear from you guys first. Weigh in, let us know. Make sure to subscribe to Seattle Seahawks Today for our daily news and rumors. We're doing live shows, not once, not twice, but 3 days a week now throughout the offseason on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We're bringing you breaking news, Q&A mailbags. We are your one-stop shop for all things Seattle Seahawks. If you love the Hawks, you've come to the right place. Subscribe now for free, youtube.com/Seahawks TV. We're closing in on 68,000 subscribers on the channel. Just less than 70 away from reaching that next mark. Subscribe now. Help us get there. YouTube.com/Seahawks TV. Let's go to the defense. I got 6 total defensive linemen for Seattle, including Leonard Williams. And I think Leonard Williams was fantastic the last 2 seasons. I think he keeps that going. I think he might be the most underrated defensive player in the entire NFL. Byron Murphy, his stats weren't earth-shattering, but I think his difference was felt when he wasn't on the football field and how much of a drop-off it was in the defensive line without him. I like what Byron Murphy's going to do this year. Jaron Reed is back. I believe in Jaron Reed. I think that Jaron Reed is a good piece, a good leader for this defense, and this defensive line looks pretty good on that front. Your backups, Mike Morris returns. Jonathan Hankins, I'm not that high on, but they didn't really have too many better options in a free agency for what they were looking for. And then we'll go with Quentin Bohannon as well to make the roster. One name missing, you may be asking, where's Riley Mills? I think he's on the PUP list. I would be very surprised if we see Riley Mills on the football field anytime soon. That doesn't mean he won't play for Seattle at some point, but he has to get healthy. Coming off that ACL, it wouldn't shock me if he doesn't even play a single down this season. Outside linebackers, DeMarcus Lawrence, a big signing from the Dallas Cowboys. As long as he stays healthy, I wouldn't be shocked if he leads the team in sacks. Uchenna Nwosu also back as well. Took a bit of a pay cut, but when he's healthy, and it's a big win, he is a very good football player. I like Boye Mafe also to be a part of that equation. I still believe in Boye. I haven't wavered on my hopes when it comes to Boye Mafe after he led this team in sacks in 2023 and set the franchise record for most consecutive games with a sack. And then Derek Hall as well. Derek Hall had a breakout season last year. I think you got some dudes here, and you got a real rotation. You can never have too many pass rushers. Inside linebacker, Ernest Jones is back. He's got a new contract. I thought he played very well after they traded for him at the trade deadline. Now he's got that knee fixed, and I think his best football is still in front of him. Tyrese Knight looked like one of the breakout players for this defense last year. A sneaky good draft pick there in the 4th round, a true starter caliber player. I think he's going to be very good this year. Drake Thomas I have making it, and we'll go Josh Ross as well, although I see it being very competitive when it comes to Thomas and Ross for trying to prove their worth that they belong on this roster. Who is your favorite player on the Seahawks roster? If you had to give me one name, no wrong answers here. Chime in and tell me who you believe that one name is of your favorite player. Let us know in the comments section below. All right, corner. We'll go Devin Witherspoon making the roster. Devin Witherspoon coming off a Pro Bowl appearance. Such a natural in the nickelback spot. I cannot wait to see what he's going to do for many years to come. Arguably the best player in this defense. Rick Woolen. This is a make-or-break year for Rick Woolen in 2025. He would like to get paid. Seattle would like to have a long-term answer at the outside corner spot. Rick's just got to do a better job tackling. He's a turnover machine. Josh Jobe is back. I don't know if he'll necessarily start. They could go shopping and potentially find another outside corner, but at 1 year, $2 million, you'll be happy to take him. And this is where things get interesting when we talk about the backups. This could go a number of different directions. But Nehemiah Pritchett is one that I expect to be there. Shamar Jean-Charles, I also expect to make it. And then we'll go Zy Alexander as well, getting one of the spots. I think he was a sneaky good pickup there out of LSU. Safety room, this might be the most underrated safety room in all of football. I'm going Julian Love, the Pro Bowler, has not missed a game since he's been in Seattle. I'm very high on him. Kobe Bryant had a strong second half to the season when he replaced Rayshawn Jenkins. Hopefully things build upon that for him. Nick Emanwari. What is Nick Emanwari? We don't know the answer to that question. Mike Macdonald says they're going to play him wherever they need him. He's got experience at outside linebacker, inside linebacker, nickelback, outside corner, and safety. He will get starting caliber playing time, but he might be doing a variety of things. DeAnthony Bell also makes it as well. They've already talked about potentially using him for some 3 safety looks as well. Who's a player the Seahawks should cut? We'll get to special teams in a moment, but we want you to be the judge. Who should be on the chopping block? Give me a name that you think the Hawks need to move on from. Last and least, the special teams unit for Seattle. Jason Myers is back. We also have on the list at the punter position, Michael Dixon, who just got paid. Now he's the highest paid punter in football. And then Chris Stoll at the long snapper position, also making the 53-man roster as well. So there you have it. That's a full breakdown of our latest 53-man roster projection for your Seattle Seahawks. If you made it to the end of today's video, you know what that means? You're a real one. You're a real member of the 12s. Spam a real one in the comments section. I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time right here on Seattle Seahawks Today.